Oh shit, here we go again. Welcome back to Grand Theft Audio Brackets, my show where I take radio stations from every single Grand Theft Auto game throughout the series, take the songs on those stations and pit them against each other in a March Madness style bracket and have you, the viewers, vote on which is the best. If you're just now joining us, we are finishing up round 2 of our 4th overall contest, this one featuring K-DST, the classic rock station from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And we are finishing up our second round, which was most of the songs on this bracket. Because there were 17 songs, we had to have one individual runoff bracket in the beginning before we could get the remainder of the 16 songs featured on this particular radio station in their own contest. I've seeded all these songs based on a variety of factors, usually things like chart performance for the individual songs. So let's see how they did this time around. We got 15 votes total, not the least I've ever had, not the most I've ever had. We'll hopefully get some more voters on this as we continue to go along. But now, let me go ahead and get right into it. Our very first matchup, matchup number 1, saw our very first seed, A Horse with No Name by America, versus our number 17 seed, Get Down to It by Humble Pie. This one, I was not expecting America to have the number 1 seeded song in this radio station bracket, but it did chart the best of any of these songs when it initially came out, so it got the number 1 seed versus basically a deep cut from Humble Pie. So it shouldn't be a surprise. America wins the day here with 11 votes to Humble Pie's 4 votes. It will be going on to the third round. Our next matchup, we had The Who with their number 8 seed, Eminence Front, versus Heart with the number 9 seed, Barracuda. Pretty evenly matched in terms of chart performance here, but again, not at all evenly matched in terms of what you voted for. That's right, Heart wins the day handily again, 11-4 to beat The Who. So next round we will see our first matchup will be A Horse with No Name versus Barracuda by Heart. Our third matchup, we saw our 4th seeded song, Some Kind of Wonderful by Grand Funk Railroad versus our 13th seeded song, Woman to Woman by Joe Cocker, perhaps most famous as the backing track for California Love by Dr. Dre and Tupac. Nonetheless, I expected it maybe to do a little bit better here, but again, we see an even bigger blowout than the last time. Some Kind of Wonderful wins with 12 votes to only 3 for Joe Cocker. Our 4th matchup, we saw our number 5 seed, Hold the Line by Toto, versus our number 12 seed, 2 Tickets to Paradise by Eddie Money. Again, just an absolute blowout. 12 votes for Toto versus only 3 for Eddie Money. I'm absolutely relieved because I despise Eddie Money for reasons I can't really articulate. Next round we will see Some Kind of Wonderful go up against Hold the Line. Our 5th matchup, we saw our number 2 seed, Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers versus our number 15 seed, Somebody Up There Likes Me by David Bowie. I love David Bowie, but unfortunately this is a pretty obscure track. Unfortunately, that did not pan out very well for Mr. Bowie. R.I.P. It did work out pretty well for Mr. Tom Petty, R.I.P., where he got 14 out of the 15 votes. David Bowie only got a single one. Our 6th matchup, we saw our number 7 seed, Smokin' by Boston, versus our number 10 seed, Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. You may be wondering, why is Lynyrd Skynyrd, why is Freebird so low? Again, it's all based on chart performance. In fact, Freebird did not even actually chart as a single when it first came out. And as for Smokin', it was only charted because it was the B-side of a single that did chart pretty well. This is our first upset, however, of this particular contest. We see Freebird with 9 of the votes to only 6 for Boston. So therefore, next round we will see Running Down a Dream go up against Freebird. Will Freebird continue this upset all the way to the end? Who can say? We're on to our last 2 rounds here. We have our number 3 seed, Green River by Creedence Clearwater Revival versus our number 14 seed, White Wedding by Billy Idol. Another surprise that Billy Idol is seeded so low, but again, it all has to do with chart performance. This is perhaps even a more monumental upset, but only by the barest of margins. Billy Idol gets 8 votes to only 7 for CCR. We're moving on to the very last contest here. We have our number 6 seed, Young Turks by Rod Stewart versus number 11 seed, Slow Ride by Foghat. Again, this is a very tight contest. Foghat wins with only 8 votes to 7 for Rod Stewart. So we will see 2 very evenly matched songs in the form of White Wedding versus Slow Ride up against each other in the next round. And that brings us to the end here. I will post the link for the vote at the bottom in the comments, or however it is that you are watching this, in the associated comments section. It's a Google ballot. Depending on how you're looking at it, it might not be a direct link, so you might just have to copy it into your browser, but I encourage you to vote early and often. I will probably post the next round sometime the next couple weeks. I'm going to say for this, I'm going to leave this one up for at least a week, and probably end up doing another video maybe next Friday or something. So I'll leave this up. These 8 songs, this Elite 8, the contest will end on December the 10th to the 12th. I'm sorry for such a long hiatus here, but it's been a pretty busy time of year. The holidays, my dog got sick. He seems to be doing a little bit better now. But, you know, we're all just sort of hanging in there. And by we all, I mean we all. But anyway, if you're still watching after all this, thank you so much, and hope you have a wonderful rest of the week.